by the energy of women in Kerala, because they are very, very smart. I have traveled all over the world, but Kerala women are very smart. The person who was owning the Patel shop told me, "Ma'am, in Gujarati, you should buy this book. Sudha Murty writes well. You are the most literate people, so you read my book and come. You have not come just to see me. You have seen me through books and you have read that."
In all my life, there have only been 3 women that I have longed to meet. One was the late former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, K. Jayalalitha, whom I could not. The other was Saint Mother Teresa, whom I did get to meet and seek blessings. And the third is none other than Srimati Sudha Murty, whom I finally get to meet today for the very first time. I have always observed her from a distance when she was there for KLF and other literary fest. And I was deeply tempted to ask Ravi ji of DC Books to facilitate a meeting with you. But I trusted the divine providence that if he willed, it will definitely provide an opportunity to bring us together, ma'am. Today is a blessed moment for me and for everyone who has joined us. Some of them, as you have seen, has traveled from the far ends of Kerala. We have today with us a diverse audience, writers, academicians, heads of organizations, parents, and children who are your most ardent fans. And it is an unforgettable magical experience for a child.
Very, very important thing for me to come to Cochin for various reasons. My daughter-in-law, Aparna, is from Cochin and her parents are here. Okay. So, Cochin, I am connected to Cochin through my daughter-in-law. I'm always amazed by the energy of women in Kerala, because they are very, very smart. I have traveled all over the world, but Kerala women are very smart. Very smart. So whenever I have a session, I don't miss where Kerala women are there. They come out, even their children, they come out with very good questions. Third thing, Kerala always appears in mythology, particularly Kerala Phala, that means coconut. It is one of the ancient land of our part of our land, and it is also known as Parashurama Srishti. Lord Parashurama divided the land between sea and the Sahyadri mountains. The last one, but not the least, you are the most literate people, so you read my book and come. You have not come just to see me. You have seen me through books and you have read that. If I don't have readers, then I'm not an author, because I write and nobody reads. I dance, nobody sees. I sing, nobody hears. Writing, dancing, singing, they're all performing arts where you require Sahrudaya, that means kind-hearted people to read and react to that. Otherwise, an author will never get inspiration. And I'm grateful for that. What question, I've been asked by many questions, But one question nobody has asked. You take my first book and my latest book, how I have changed and that has affected my writing. Nobody has asked me that. I started writing when I was a young kid, 10, 12 years, small essays in the school. When I was in a teenage, I wrote short stories. Okay, in teenage everybody writes, that kind of stories. Then later I did not write for a long time because I was in engineering college. Then I wrote my first book on a travelogue actually. I traveled on backpack in 1979 to US in Kannada. I was originally a Kannada writer. I come from Karnataka and my medium of instruction is Kannada. So I always wrote in Kannada. I became English author at the age of 52. Until that I wrote only in Kannada because I'm connected to my language with my emotions. And that's the reason I say mother tongue is very important. Mother tongue connects your emotions. At the age of 52 I started writing in English and I have not, the rest is history, I can tell you. So when you look at my writing in English, I'm not talking about Kannada, in English, the first book is Wise and Otherwise. My latest book, which is going to come now, is Common at Uncommon, or you can say Here, There, Everywhere. I have grown in a different way of writing, using the secret of writing only in the last paragraph, so that your author should cling to your reading and only they realize at the end. All these techniques I learned over a period of 20 years. And the advantage of writing in English I realized, I have only 41 or 42 books, but I have 285 titles. My books have been translated in all the languages in India. Sindhi, Kashmiri, Dogri, name a language. Sanskrit, you take 100 rupee note and count the language. My books are in all those languages, apart from Italian, Braille, and to my surprise, I saw my book in Karachi airport, in Pakistan. They said, that's in Urdu, but it's very well. And I saw my book in Honolulu, in Hawaii airport. I saw my Gujarati book in Dar es Salaam, then I saw in New Jersey, then I saw in London. And the person who was owning the Patel shop told me, ma'am, in Gujarati, you should buy this book. Sudha Murty writes well. I was very happy. Somebody saw me in Bombay and said, you resemble Sudha Murty, are you the same author? Then they will take a lot of selfies and all. I said, no, I'm her cousin. Okay? They said, oh, you have a lot of resemblance to her. I said, many people have. If somebody is from Bombay, they will understand. There is an area known as Flora Fountain in Bombay. There, all pirated books will be available. Okay, though it's a bad practice, we can't help it. We can't help it. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Once I went to Flora Fountain and I was standing there. All my pirated version were in front of me. If I sell my books 1 lakh in the bookstore, I must have sold 2 lakhs of the pirated version. And he said, ma'am, you should buy these books. I said, which is a good book? He said, Sudha Murty ka bahut acha hai, aap le lena. I said, how much it cost? He said, 100 rupees. My book cost 300 rupees, okay? I was thinking, what a loss. What a loss to the Penguin, my publishers. Because I was quiet. He said, ma'am, you buy 3 of them, I will give you 250 rupees. I said, maybe that is the index of my popularity. That's what I felt and kept quiet. So, this is how I changed my way of writing in the last 20 years. Nobody has asked. This I realized by learning the different method of writing, single quote, double quote, paragraph change, how to make the end, okay? All those things, pun upon the word, starting paragraph, ending, making it identical. All those things I learned in my literary journey in 20 years. Nobody has asked this. Thank you.
I think you've been working with diverse set of people, young and old, privileged and less privileged, and has also devotedly been spending time for the poorest of poor. In this long, perhaps sometimes arduous relationship with people, what do you think is the most important quality that children should be inculcated or taught so that they could deal with the invisibilized normalization of violence, inequality, oppression, and lack of freedom?
It's a very good question. In my work, I come across politicians, film actors, very rich people, extremely poor people. Death in front of me in tsunami. I've handled 13 national disasters and one pandemic. I have seen death in front of me in tsunami, dead bodies, one hand, one leg, that kind of bodies. That has changed me actually a lot internally. I realized it is not money that makes you happy. You require money to a great extent, but ultimately keeping a human relationship with somebody, and when they are in difficulties, going towards them and connecting to them, and perseverance, if you want to solve, they have brought me great results. For example, I was working with sex workers. It took 18 long years. I worked 25 years in public life on foundation. I never cared about any weekend in 25 years. I never took a family holiday, oh let's go here, there. No. For me, my family is whole world. My students are my children. My relations are poorest of the poor, and I work for them. I don't work for money. I don't work for any medal. I don't work for any honor or achievement. I work for the poorest of the poor people, because all these experiences taught me, if I pass this life only once, if I can show compassion to others, let me do it now.
As we know, the world has changed drastically. There is excess of consumerism and excess of vanity that comes from the social media platforms. Children are getting stories from digital platforms, and there is an ardent gratification available for them. And we know that India has a rich tradition of oracy when it comes to storytelling. And we have all been a part of that great legacy. And there is an adage in Kerala, in Malayalam, one who doesn't listen to stories becomes storyless. Kada kelkathavan kada illadagum. For the young parents today, the world and the wireless world is in constant flux. And this digital intrusion has perhaps eroded our oral storytelling. Many young parents are here today, as you can see, ma'am. Can you share your thoughts about the importance of reviving the storytelling in our homes?
Today, electronic gadgets have come in our lives, whether you like it or not. It is not easy to tell children, don't see cartoon, read a book. It is a very uphill task, but it is possible to do. It is not impossible to do. There are no Ammachi or Ammamma at home, because Ammachi and Ammamma are busy in seeing some serial on TV. They themselves are busy. If you want to bring up a child with stories, it is not only stories are important. One who tells the story is important. Like grandparents have to involve, parents have to involve, teachers have to involve in school. Then only it is possible. You have to spend lot of time with children. Nowadays what happens, both husband and wife, they work. There's nothing wrong, because I was also a working mother. And they have 1 or 2 children. The child will ask a bike, you will get him a car. The child will ask one dress, you will buy 2 dresses. Because you have plenty of money and you have less children. By doing that, you are ruining your children. They will never understand sharing. Sharing is caring. Every child will have their own room. When the guest comes, they say, I can't leave my room. Bring your children as much as possible in a normal way. If the child asks bike, ask him, why do you need? Give me one reason. Okay? I want a dress. Why do you need? You want it? Okay, I will get you for Eid, Christmas or Diwali holiday. Not when you want. I request all mothers here, cook sweets only 4 times in a year. Not more than that. Today the child wants sweets. You will go to a sweet shop and get it. Don't do that. Child should wait for the sweet. Waiting gives you patience. Waiting also gives you value. Today he wants or she wants a Mysore Pak. You go to Lulu Mall, get, when there are so many sweet shops are around, the child asks Mysore Pak, you will buy 4. Mysore Pak, Badusha, then coconut barfi, then what is that? Kaju Katli. You bring 4. The child wants sweet, wait for an occasion. Your birthday? Yes.
All the Kannada friends of Sudha Murty who have come to Lulu, can you kindly come onto the stage? Through the right side of this particular stage, all her Kannada friends who have come to see Sudha ma'am.
വരാം പക്ഷെ കുറച്ച് നാളെ തരാൻ പറ്റുമോ